Hi, welcome to Gloomy Recaps. The story begins with a little girl named Veronica, who's undergoing a psychological evaluation after losing both of her parents. But what shocks everyone is her demeanor. There isn't even a trace of sadness on her face. During the interview, she sits calmly, as if the tragedy that struck her life means nothing. And when asked how she feels, she simply replies almost casually that death is a natural thing, something that can happen to anyone. After the evaluation ends, Veronica is approached by a bald man named William. William, an agent from a secret organization, sees something special in her potential. This organization has one mission: to train young agents to hunt down and eliminate psychopaths who have managed to escape the law. Most of these killers come from the upper class, rich elites and powerful officials, people who use their influence to stay untouchable. Time flies. 12 years later, Veronica has grown into a beautiful young woman, disciplined, sharp, and still under William's watchful eye. Though she's made tremendous progress, her training is far from over. Day after day, she continues her relentless routines, pushing her limits with every session.
This freedom is found in every living person on this planet, and then becomes, are you the type of person? Now, choke me. Harder.
William? Hey, William!
Meanwhile, in another part of the city, the story shifts to a group of wealthy teenagers, 4 boys and 1 girl, spending the night in an exclusive bar. Among them is Jameson, a young man with a well-known weakness for blondes. When he spots Gwen, the blonde bartender, he can't take his eyes off her. It doesn't take long before he makes his move. At first, Gwen seems hesitant, but eventually she gives in and agrees to go out with him. But everything changes the next morning. Jameson and his friends convince Gwen to join them on a little trip to a secluded spot deep in the woods, under the pretense of having some fun. What Gwen doesn't realize is that their intentions are far from innocent. They are in fact ruthless psychopaths who prey on blonde women like her. Though Gwen tries desperately to escape, exhaustion and fear soon consume her. In the end, her fate takes a dark and tragic turn at the hands of the group. Meanwhile, William brings Veronica to a bar as part of her field training. This time, he selects a man in a brown jacket as her target. From a distance, William observes her every move, never interfering. Within moments, Veronica manages to take him down, quick and precise. But to William, her execution is still far from perfect. Seeing that she still has room to grow, William takes Veronica to another location, one meant for her final test. There she's forced to confront her deepest fears. William ties her tightly to a chair before injecting a special serum designed to trigger hallucinations. What follows isn't reality, but a series of terrifying visions born from Veronica's darkest subconscious. This is where her true fear reveals itself, not of monsters nor of death, but of William himself, the man who shaped her into someone who no longer knows what fear truly means. Yet within that same darkness, her strength becomes undeniable. A quiet, unshakable courage that allows her to face even the man who made her fearless. Not long after, William takes Veronica to a bar, the very place where Jameson, the leader of the psychopathic group, often hangs out with his crew. Here begins Veronica's first real mission, a deadly assignment where she must face these killers on her own without William's guidance. The group is responsible for the deaths of 12 women. Among them is Jennifer, the only girl in their circle, someone who's blissfully unaware of the monsters she calls friends. One of their most recent victims was Gwen, the blonde bartender who's still officially listed as missing. When Jameson and his friends leave the bar, Veronica approaches Jennifer and strikes up a conversation. Through their talk, she uncovers crucial information. Jennifer is dating Shane, one of the members of the group. And Jameson is not only their leader, but a man consumed by his obsession with blonde women. Armed with everything she's learned, Veronica contacts William, ready for whatever comes next.
It's you. Well, it was lovely to meet you. I'm gonna enjoy this.
The next day, Veronica returns to the bar, dressed in a way that's carefully designed to catch Jameson's attention. And it works instantly. Jameson is captivated by her striking presence, unable to look away. It doesn't take long before he starts flirting with her, throwing charming lines like a seasoned predator. Eventually, he invites her to a party he's hosting the following night, and with a smirk, he adds one small request. Wear red lipstick, it'll make you look irresistible. Just as planned, Veronica prepares for what's coming next. Using a special liquid once given to her by William, she crafts a drink capable of triggering intense hallucinations, visions born from a person's deepest fears. Her goal is simple: to make these psychopaths feel the same terror they've inflicted on others. When the night arrives, Veronica puts on her red lipstick, just as Jameson asked, and steels herself for what could be her most dangerous mission yet. Jameson picks up his 3 friends before heading to the bar to meet her. Shane and Jennifer are left behind. This night isn't for them. For Jameson and the others, Veronica is the next target. Then there's Nelson and Danny, the latter known for the axe he never goes anywhere without. When they finally arrive, Veronica greets them with calm elegance, her every move calculated. Moments later, they all head out to the party deep in the woods, to the group's private hideout. The ride there is filled with wild laughter and chaos. They smash mailboxes and shout out the window, their thrill coming from destruction itself. To them, this is just another night of reckless fun.
Thank you.
Once they reach the hideout, Veronica is invited to sit down and join their game, a simple round of truth or dare. Before it begins, she casually asks where the other girls are. Jameson, with his usual grin, tells her not to worry, they'll be here soon. That's when Veronica makes her move. She offers them drinks, the very ones she's laced with the hallucinogenic serum. The 3 men gulp them down without hesitation. Only Jameson waits, watching her with suspicion or perhaps curiosity. Moments later, the game begins. The first round is harmless enough, a dare that ends with Veronica being tied up. But the next challenge carries a far darker consequence: death. In that moment, Veronica begins to act, screaming, panicking, playing the role of a terrified victim so convincingly that even Jameson believes it. He decides to make it fun, giving her a head start, like a hunter letting his prey run before the kill.
5 minutes.
No, wait, I'm not.
Don't forget the booze.
The psychopaths start the chase, laughing as they move through the dark woods searching for her. But what they don't realize is that this time the game has changed. Veronica is no longer the rabbit, she's the predator, ready to hunt them down one by one. The hunt begins with Danny charging into the woods with his axe in hand, determined to find Veronica. But it doesn't take long before the drink she gave him starts to take effect. Slowly, the hallucinations creep in, twisting his reality. His deepest fear manifests before him, a panda-headed clown grinning in the dark. Panic floods his mind, blurring the line between illusion and reality until he completely loses control. While Danny spirals into madness, Veronica moves with precision, calm, deliberate. She swaps her shoes with his, giving herself better footing and the agility she needs to keep moving. Her next target, Nelson. Soon he too begins to hallucinate visions of masked men surrounding him, closing in from every direction. The trauma of a past robbery, one that nearly took his life, resurfaces violently. It's clear now, behind every one of these psychopaths hides a buried scar. A twisted trauma that shaped the monsters they've become. Meanwhile, back at the hideout, Jennifer arrives looking for her boyfriend Shane. But instead of finding him, she runs into Jameson. Confused, she demands to know what's going on. Before Jameson can explain, Shane suddenly appears, cutting him off. He doesn't want Jennifer to learn the truth, the side of him he's worked so hard to hide. Tension builds as Jameson insists she deserves to know. And the argument quickly turns violent when Shane attacks him, fighting not just his friend, but the reality he refuses to face. But the brutal truth is none of it is real. It's all in Shane's head, a hallucination born from the drug. His greatest fear isn't death, it's Jennifer discovering who he truly is. And as that fear consumes him, Shane becomes Veronica's next victim. Now only Jameson remains. Unlike the others, he's managed to stay clear-headed, unaffected by the drug. He finds Veronica, and this time the two finally come face to face. He's sharp, focused, dangerous, the kind of man who doesn't go down easily. Sensing that brute force won't be enough, Veronica proposes a game. A simple one, questions and answers, but every answer must be honest. Jameson starts first. He asks how his friends fell into hallucination. Calmly, Veronica explains. She mixed the serum into their drinks. Then it's her turn. She asks how many victims he's killed. Without hesitation and with a chilling calm, Jameson replies, 20, and tonight you'll make 21. The words ignite something inside Veronica. A spark of fury, of justice, of vengeance long contained. In an instant, she lunges forward, overpowering Jameson and choking him until he collapses. As he lies unconscious, she kneels beside him and injects him with the same hallucinogenic serum, ensuring that he'll finally experience the terror he once gave to others. When Jameson regains consciousness, he finds himself standing barefoot on a jagged rock, a noose wrapped tightly around his neck. Veronica stands before him, calm and unflinching, her eyes cold as steel. She tells him to repent, to feel even a shred of remorse for what he's done. But instead, Jameson bursts into laughter, shouting defiantly into the night. And that's when it happens, his greatest fear takes shape before his eyes. The ghostly image of a blonde girl from his past. A haunting reminder of the pain that once broke him. The very wound that twisted into hatred. A hatred that drove him to hunt down every blonde girl he could find, trying in vain to silence the memory that never stopped screaming inside his head.
Stop it! Stop.
Moments later, the mission is over. William appears, stepping out from the shadows. He approaches Veronica with quiet pride in his eyes, seeing in her the result of everything he's built. The girl who once showed no emotion has now become a perfect predator. Later that night, William takes her to a bar. He offers her a drink, a toast to success. Then with a faint smile, he asks how she feels. Veronica calmly says she feels a kind of happiness she's never experienced before. That single line says it all. William has done more than train an agent. He's created a psychopath who hunts her own kind. And that's how the story unfolds in this movie. Hope you guys enjoyed it and see you in the next video.